when it comes to Wonder Woman, we've been talking a lot about just her realizations about mankind, and we've touched on her realizations about men as well, and how women are viewed, especially around World War I era. So, given our focus on mindful nerd moments that are more real life style this season, I thought that we could we could have Wonder Woman using mindfulness when she gets mansplained about war by a bunch of men, even though she's a warrior princess. When she's at that what was it, the Supreme War Council, I think is what it was. Remember when she goes
Yes.
in there and she starts talking, they're like, oh, there's a woman in here, get her out. So I thought we could because she's a demigod, so she had to keep her cool enough to not just, you know,
Just a little.
kill them all while they were being annoying.
She didn't
So I
have
thought that
to.
that could be a good one.
Would have been a
So,
great deleted scene.
there you go. Yep, she just like Homelanders them all. Yeah,
Yeah, there we
there you
go.
go. There you go. So yeah, I figured that we could, because I think all of us, obviously you are not a woman, but in some sense, all of us have had situations where we've been condescended to, or someone talks down to us, or people treat us like we don't belong somewhere. So I thought that this could be a, a good one to practice some mindfulness as you try and kind of make your way through these situations that pop up.
All right.
So you can sit straight but comfortably and not look at anything in particular in the room. And you can even close your eyes if that helps you to focus in. And we'll start like we always do. Focus in on your breath, not changing it in any way, not worrying about any right or wrong ways of breathing, just noticing what your natural breath is like right now. And using that inhale and exhale as a way to focus in on the mindful nerd moment. I want you to imagine yourself as Wonder Woman, and you're in that scene in the 2017 movie where she's she's gone into the Supreme War Council, and she's got some important things to talk about, some important things to say. And it's weird because she does everything she was taught. You, just like you were taught on the island, you've prepared for battle, you've studied your enemy, you have information to share, you're going to help with the wartime effort. But when you start talking to these men in this room, they look at you with shock and horror. They whisper to each other. They tell you need to leave. They tell you to be quiet. They don't want to listen to a word you have to say, and you're confused and irritated because there's something really important that you're trying to get across to them. And you know what? The more they refuse to listen, even though you're doing your best, the more your confusion, your frustration starts turning into anger. You're Wonder Woman. You're a warrior princess. You're a demigod. You are so powerful. And yet you're being told that you have nothing to offer here. And this is war. This is literally what you've trained for. And you feel your blood starting to boil, tensing up a bit. And you start realizing, you know what? If I don't if I don't start kind of finding a way to deal with how I'm feeling here, I might start hitting and throwing things. And as good as that would feel, it's not going to change how these people are acting around me. And so you look around, you see no one's listening. You think to yourself, I'm feeling angry. I'm thinking to myself how great it would be to pound some sense into some of these men here. But you realize that that anger right now is really only hurting yourself. They don't really seem to care. So you take a deep breath. You start moving toward the door. It's been clear you're not welcome here. But as you move toward the door and you take another deep breath, you're thinking about your next move. Because instead of wasting your energy on dealing with those men in there, you're going to go off You're going to find the war yourself, and you're going to fight this thing head on, no matter what those men in that room say. And as you reach, you find the door, you open it, you walk through, you close it behind you. Think just, I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling determined. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight the war god and I'm going to win no matter what those men in there say. You walk off, ready to do that Wonder Woman thing. When you're ready, we're going to switch out of the mindful nerd moment. We're no longer powerful like Wonder Woman, but it's also no longer World War One. So at least I myself am grateful because there are a lot of those rooms that I would now be invited into that the warrior princess was not. So want to check in with you about how that was, because this is definitely one of those where I'm kind of walking us through the ideal in some ways, but not necessarily how we might naturally respond.
Right. I'm not gonna lie. This one, I was just upset because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
women go through this every day. Like
Yeah.
as like even now. Like, yes, it happened in World War One, and us being America, we've learned nothing. I just and yeah, I think listening to this, and I'm just like, wow, this is this mindfulness technique is literally something that happens to women probably all the time.
Well,
And
and so that's the interesting thing, right? Is that um, there are things that we have to learn to acclimate to. And to be clear, there are obviously moments where advocacy and fighting for rights and things are important.
right.
In the movie, though, when we're talking about this scene, yeah, she could have fought these men and argued and done all these things, but she needed to get to the war and actually do something.
Hmm.
And talking to them, it wasn't getting anywhere. And so
Right.
there are totally times where it's time, and she even tries speaking up. She tries to get them to listen. But yeah, I mean, you're right. There are a lot of moments where these things can happen. And so that juggle of mindfulness and action, and
Right.
and I'm definitely a true believer that the mindfulness piece helps to be able to make sure that the actions are what are most important to you. Because
Hmm.
otherwise, if she's just fighting every man, woman, and child who's arguing with her about what's prim and proper for her to do, she never would have actually gotten to the war.
Right.
Thanks for nerding out with us. I'm clinical psychologist Dr. Amelia Brown.
And I'm educator and comic aficionado Keaton Hopkins. Check out my TV and movie reviews on YouTube at Team JVS. Check out our website at bat-therapy.com, our Bat Therapy YouTube channel, and follow us on social media. And don't forget our Patreon page at patreon.com/battherapy. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.